Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How are you? How are you? We apologize for that delay. You know when you're doing something good, so here comes the bad stuff just happening. Things want to shut down, but we're here and we're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. So let's just start off first. I want to welcome everyone to this special live that my dear sister friend, mentor teacher Lee and I decided to put together. I'm going to start off by just introducing myself, and then I'm going to have mentor teacher Lee introduce herself, and then we're going to go from there. But make sure you share out this live with as many people as possible. Share it out. You all know when I go live every week, I tell you to share it out. So share it out with as many people as possible. All right. So for those of you who are tuning in, let us know in the comments where you are from and where you're tuning in from. My name is Jamilah, aka the IEP Coach. I am the founder and lead consultant of the IEP Coach LLC, and we're an education consulting company that specializes in providing special education support for our teachers and paraprofessionals so they can thrive in their roles. And we support our parents with understanding the special education, IEP, and 504 processes. Special ed is our thing, okay?
And I am Mentor Teacher Lee of the Mentor Teacher League. We are an agency who thrives to make sure that teachers in years 1 to 5 are going from novice to expert in the classroom. Even with all the challenges that are going on in the classroom, the Mentor Teacher League is here to support in coaching and mentorship to make sure that in year 1 and 2, we do intense coaching. And then years 3 to 5, we do that one-to-one mentorship so that as those things come up weekly, monthly, day to day, you can have a mentor to reach back to say, hey, this is a question that I have, a crisis that I'm in, and I need your support. And so I am so excited that the Mentor Teacher League is here this evening with the IEP coach as we are just making this an annual thing, I guess. Last year we did, and now here we are again. And so, how was your day today? IEP coach, how did things go for you today?
Today was an okay day. I've been very consistent going to the gym. So I had yoga. Today is my yoga day. So yoga is at the end of the week for me. So it like really, and I do Kundalini yoga. It's a lot of breathing techniques and everything. So
Mm.
that was just great. Started off my morning with that and then jumped right into work. Was on the phone a lot with some phone calls and some emails today. Not too heavy. How about yourself?
Oh, so alhamdulillah, I had some time to rest today, and it's Thursday, right? So I'm feeling like end of the week is coming. Let me finish up some laundry. Let me answer some emails. Let me get prepared for next week. I was out of school today, so I was able to take care of me and do some household things, but all is well.
Okay, you on break. Okay, I remember those days.
Living just a little bit.
Excited to be on break. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, like, before we get started, we have a question for everybody. Do you guys know what's coming up next month? If you know, put it in the comments. Do you know what is coming next month?
Hey.
Do you know what's coming next month? Give you a hint. We put it in our flyer a little bit. I think we
Little
put it.
something, something.
I think we did. But if you know, put it in the comments. Let me see. Let me see what Instagram has. Put in the comments. I'm going to look on LinkedIn as well because we are streaming on LinkedIn. We are streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Instagram as well as Facebook. So definitely put
I'm checking in the
your
chat. I don't see folks saying too much. Let's go, y'all. What's
don't be
coming?
scared. Don't be scared. Come on. Yes, let me see. Let me check Instagram because I see a couple people. No one knows. All right, Jenee, you want to help them out?
Let me help and tell you guys what's coming up. So, in less than 30 days, we are going into the holy month of Ramadan. And so,
Yes.
Ramadan is a time where we will be fasting and praying and having some really good time with our sisters in Islam, and just learning and really having like a great time. It's a holy month, and it's an exciting time for Muslims, not just here where I'm located in Philadelphia, but all across the world. And so tonight we thought that it would be paramount for us to come and talk to you about what Ramadan looks like for us as educators, and then how we can help to facilitate some things in your schools, in your um, business offices, and things of this sort.
All right. So we want to ask another question. Does anyone know,
Let's go,
like,
because they quiet. They being quiet. They.
and then you want to DM us later?
Right, right.
So listen. So now Jenee mentioned a little bit about Ramadan. So does anyone know specifically what Muslims do during Ramadan? Don't be shy to put in the comments. Don't be like, I'm not sure. You can put it in the comments. What do Muslims do during Ramadan? Can anyone tell us? Anyone want to put in the chat? Put it in the comments. Put what you think, and don't be
Give them a minute.
afraid.
I see girls going Hydra in there, so give them a minute. They might be able to respond.
All right. All right. But yes, I love Ramadan. It's like just the whole vibe in the community.
Hmm.
Going to like just because it's like everyone is you're striving to be your best self. You're striving to improve. Oh, we have a comment here. Fast from sun up to sundown. Yes. Thank you, Katie. Yes, we do. Muslims do fast from sun up to sundown. Yes, that is one aspect of fasting. Um, does anyone know what we fast from? Like, um, what are we giving up during our fasting time from sun up to sundown? And thank you so much for that, Katie.
Girls going Hydra also said we fast, and so what are we fasting from?
Anyone know? So I think everyone knows. Like, yes, we don't eat. We're not consuming any food or drink from sun up to
Hmm.
sundown. Also, no sexual relations from sun up to sundown.
Right.
And you're really working on being your best self, so doing nothing negative, not talking ill to someone. Let me see. Oh, this is a great conversation, very needed. Thanks for facilitating a space for this. Thank you, Dayana. I hope I said your name right. If I didn't, I apologize.
Thank you, Miss Evans. We'll call her Miss Evans. Thank
Miss
you.
Evans, yes. So you are fasting from anything that will not bring you any benefit. So
Hmm.
gossiping, stealing, anything of that nature. And then um once the sun goes down, we're able to consume food, we're able to consume drink, you're able to, have relations with your husband, your
Wow.
wife,
Yeah.
etc., your spouse. So it's really a time. So think of fasting as a time to, it's like cleansing your mind, your body, and your soul. And you're getting
Hmm.
closer to Allah. And when we say Allah, Allah is the Arabic word for God. So you're cleansing your mind, body, and soul to get a closer relationship. And then also throughout the month of Ramadan, you want to read the holy book, the Quran, and and you want to at least read a chapter of that a day. So there are
A day.
30 chapters, which are called jizzes. So you have 30 chapters in the Quran, and we fast for 30 days. Now it's 29 or 30 days. And the reason it's 29 or 30 is because we go by the sighting of the moon. So it's 29 or 30. And
Yes.
you want to try to read a chapter of the Quran every day. So by the end of Ramadan, you've read the entire Quran. And that's something I
Yes.
always aim to do as well. And I feel amazing when I do
When you are
that.
able to accomplish that, right?
Right.
And somebody, Girls Going Hajj also put in the chat, we avoid music and TV too in our
Yeah.
household, right? And
Right.
so just abstaining from those things that are going to take you away from that relationship that you are yearning for, desiring for, right? Because if I'm listening to music, I'm probably not reading the Quran. If I'm watching TV, I'm probably not reading the Quran. And so all of those things to draw you in closer. And it's such an exciting time that as Muslims, like I said, all around the world, we aim to like, oh, can I get this chapter in? And so sometimes that looks like us being up a little later, reading and just really just embracing the time. And you just really feel amazing when you're able to accomplish those things on your to-do list.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we told you a little bit about Ramadan, right? So
Hmm.
um when it comes to Ramadan, you still gotta go to work, you still gotta go to school. And it doesn't matter that you're fasting, you still have to, go and do those things. Now, we also wanted to do this presentation just to also offer some tips, offer some strategies
Hmm.
on how can we be more inclusive during Ramadan, because I want to say us Muslims that are fasting, we've all had those stories where it's like, we're fasting and here you go, you inviting me out to get something to eat and I'm fasting. And I'm just like, "I told you I'm fasting." And I'm like, "How many times
I
I gotta
done
tell you
told
I'm
you.
fasting? Like, I told you like 3 times already, I'm fasting." And it's like, you may forget, we understand, but it's like, "Come on." Like, you have to
Hmm.
be kidding me, come on. Have you had that, happen to you, Janae?
Listen, you like, listen, now you know I'm fasting. Or maybe you thought it was just for fake at school or something, but I'm really, really fasting. I can't go out after work. And so I'm really headed to the masjid. So don't ask me for no meetings or nothing after work either.
Right. And then like the timing of the different events and things like that. So we were just like, we definitely need to put something together so that way it can just be more inclusive and it's not so much of like a oh yeah, that's right. It's more of a understanding and more of
That's
a
right.
let me see how I can support you during Ramadan. So any of you, do you guys, all of you tuning in, you have any tips you think that would be good to share with your employer or with your school if you are fasting? You got any tips you think would be good to share for any if you're fasting? Wa alaikum assalam. Is it Bubaka 9879?
Yeah,
Okay.
Bubaka.
Bubaka, my apologies.
Mhm.
Wa alaikum assalam. Anyone got any tips? What are some like what's something that come those of you who fast, what's something that's like you're like, listen, my job, my school needs to do this. They need to definitely do this
Right.
for people who are fasting. Anyone got any ideas? Any thoughts?
We looking in the chat.
Yep, looking in the chat because we know
Hey
you got
sis, that's
ideas.
Tashira. Hey Tashira. She is also a mentor and coach. And so she
Hey
knows
to Shira.
the work that we're doing is important to make sure that this idea of inclusivity is there. And so, ask your question again in case somebody missed it.
All right. Hey, so for those of you who are just joining in, what are some tips that you think will be good for employers and schools to know so they can better support students and their staff that are fasting for Ramadan?
Right. And so, Girls Going Hodge has a doctor who's one of their founders. Around 3 p.m., our glucose is low. So, don't ask for anything too strenuous.
I like that. I like that. It's like I don't have the energy. Please give me light work. Here go.
That's duty me, please.
Oh my God, she said the same thing. Allocating workload.
Yes.
Everybody's like, yes. Allocating workload, creating environments within the organization for fasting people to rest and
Come on,
recharge.
Miss
I like that
Evans.
one. I
Come
like
on,
that
Miss
one.
Evans.
Miss Evans, I like that one. Really good. Anyone else? Let's take like one more. Anyone else got any other tips? These are great tips. Anyone else? For those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking about some tips that you would definitely want to give your employer or your school in regards to um people who are fasting. So we said, so it has been shared to watch the workload, especially after 3 o'clock. Like, listen, I'm tired. Wa alaikum assalam. I'm tired. So nothing strenuous. And then also someone shared having, areas for people who are fasting to rest and
That's right.
recharge. All
That's right.
right.
Assalamu alaikum, good brother. All that is important. That's our brother from Somebody's Got to Do It. And so
Okay.
we out here doing the work. Somebody's got to do it.
Yes.
talking about creating these spaces.
All right. So mentor teacher Lee and I, we also came up with some tips too. All right. So we did
Mhm.
like 3 tips. So first tip, oh, alaikum assalam. Here's someone else. Wa alaikum
Wa
assalam.
alaikum assalam.
All righty. So we said have a clean and clear space for people to pray. That
Mhm.
I think that is like because sometimes like you can ask for a space to pray and they're like, oh, you just need a space. You could be crammed in a corner or something or whatever. And it's like
Listen.
that's why I said clean and clear space to pray. Wa alaikum assalam. All right, Hadaya and Muktara. Wa alaikum assalam. So a clean and clear space to pray. This applies to schools and organizations, just anywhere. Having
Yes.
a clean and clear space to pray. It does. Like when I tell you how appreciative your students and staff will be if you offered up a space for that, like because it's like, oh, I can pray. I have a space I can go to pray. It's clean and it's quiet. Like
It's
I
like you see me. I feel validated, right? You see me, you hear
absolutely.
me, you know exactly what I need.
Now, another tip that we have is perhaps having a separate space. Like, okay, I'm not eating, so I don't want to go to the cafeteria. I don't want to go to perhaps the employee lounge because everyone's eating. I don't want to be there.
Mhm.
So perhaps having separate spaces where someone else can go, so where we can go because we don't want to be around food.
Yes, yes. And that was mentioned on Instagram as well from Girls Going Hodge for the children to make sure that there's a space as well. So we're going to talk about those three things for the workplace and then we're going to talk about school. But thank you for jumping in right away to say that space is real.
All right. And then the last one that we said was allow space for dialogue and or celebration. So like being able to just have the space to like the way mentor teacher Lee and I are talking right now,
Hmm.
having that I want to say dialogue with your students or your employees that are
Yes.
Muslim and that are
Super
fasting.
important.
Right, to even educate you about Ramadan, to even tell you what their needs are, and just
Yeah.
to have that open dialogue so you just have a better understanding. Okay, this is what my employees need, this is what my students need, and it really helps the morale of your staff, of your students, and just the overall culture. It really improves it because it's like what mentor teacher Lee said, you're validating that individual who is fasting, and
Hmm.
it just really helps them during this month of Ramadan because we don't have high energy. Our energy isn't high. Our energy is low. So it's like anything that you do that can help us, it is greatly appreciated. Oh,
Greatly
we have
appreciated.
Tanika said, thank you for doing this tonight. Great information. Thank you, Tanika.
Thank you, Tanika.
All right. So we talked about some tips. What are some, perhaps some strategies?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we can say do this, but what are some other things that schools can do to ensure that this is ongoing? It's not just for right now. Like this is something that we're not gonna, I'm not gonna forget this. We don't have to keep.
Hmm.
You don't have to keep coming to remind me. What are some strategies that they could do? Anyone got any
Right.
ideas?
Let me look in the chat.
Let me see. Because everyone said have space for them, space where you can pray and space. And
Hmm.
it'd be nice if you have that all year round, a space to pray.
Yes.
That'll be great. All year round, have a space to pray. Let
Once
me
you clean
see.
that space out, don't turn it back into a closet after Ramadan. Leave it for us.
Absolutely. All right, we'll give it one more second just to see if anyone has anything else to share because we know you're typing. All right. Okay, so something that, or you know what, Janae, you want to go into the strategies?
Yes, I could go into the
Okay.
strategies. And so when we're thinking about our strategies and things that we want to make sure that we have in place, we want to first talk about for those employers and schools, just the acknowledgement, right? Acknowledge that we are here. You see us. You want to make sure that um, you're thinking about us intentionally, not an afterthought. And so we talked about that after 3 p.m. Thinking specifically about a school setting, right? Let's make sure that we're not having parent teacher conferences around this time. Let's make sure that we are not having specific things after that time where we know that the energy is already low. And so we want to make sure that the timing is good for everyone, right? We want to be able to leave. We want to be able to make it to the masajid. We want to be able to make our prayers. And so we talked earlier about leaving off music and TV in some households, right? And what does that look like now if the school is having a celebration or there's an office party happening and, I'm in a space where I need to rid myself of that environment. So just the acknowledgement of it and the timing of events. And most importantly, although we save this for last, just thinking about showing empathy versus sympathy. And so when we talked initially, we talked in the beginning about us being excited about this time of Ramadan, all the joy that it brings our heart, all of the things that we want to do. We want to make sure that we exude that excitement and is rubbing off. So when you see that we're fasting and we're abstaining from specific things, it's not a time of, oh my gosh, are you okay? No, actually, this is something we've been praying and waiting for the entire year to come back around. Inshallah, we all reach this time. And so, God willing, we get a chance to experience this. And so that idea of showing empathy versus sympathy is something that we really want to bring home in the workplace and in school, specifically when children become a certain age and people think that this is a time where, oh, they're so young. They are like at a rite of passage. They are excited to be able to do exactly what they heard their family members and parents doing all along when they get to a certain age. So I just really think it's important that we talk about those strategies and really put it at the forefront that we are definitely excited about this time of year.
Yes, we have some comments. Tanika said, I plan to share this in some of my school counseling groups. All the information is great information. And we have Miss Evans, understanding that Eid is a floating holiday and not giving anyone a hard time about not showing up on those days. It may be
Mhm.
tricky around scheduling, but we don't know the Eid until it is announced. So, as I said before, Ramadan is the ninth month on the Islamic calendar, and we know when Ramadan is coming when the sighting of the new moon has come, and then we know when the Eid is coming, the sighting of the new moon. So it's
That
like,
same time.
when it's Christmas, when it's Thanksgiving, when it comes to the Eid, we won't know the exact date. So we'll give you a range. It's going to be around these 3 days. Like it could be around
Mhm.
these days. And it would be great if you just had a better understanding just of one, we're not even on, we're operating on the Islamic calendar, not the regular calendar, that everyone else is. And to what Miss Evans said, like not give a hardship, because there are some people, like, they'll come to the prayer and then they gotta rush and go back to work because they put in a certain day but the moon was sighted on a different day, so it does make
Mhm.
it difficult. So it'd be great if just having better understanding that, and the Eid is never the same time every year. The Eid, Ramadan and Eid, it gets celebrated in every season. It gets celebrated in the winter, the
Yeah.
spring, the summer, and the fall. Every year it comes up earlier and earlier. So that's how we
Mhm.
can experience Ramadan and Eid all throughout the year. It's never the same time every single year. And I think that is something that, a lot of people don't know. So they're like, oh, it's on this. No, it's not the same day every year. So being understand, that was a great point, because that affects everybody,
Yes.
because Eid, hey, the students, they're not going to come to school on the Eid. It's our holiday. I'm not coming to work. It's my
I'm not
holiday.
coming.
And I need
I'm
you to
not
respect my holiday, just like I
prepare to
respect your
others.
holiday. Right.
Prepare to others.
Prepare the others. So, Ms. Jenee, I know that you have done some things in your school. Wait, let me see. I know you have done some things in your school for Ramadan. You want to
Mhm.
share, go into that?
Yes. And so, thinking about my school is a middle school, and so I've been teaching a very long time. And then we want to make sure that the space is there. So we talked about creating a space for students. We talked about making sure that there's a space for them to pray, as well as a space for them to go, not during lunchtime, having specific activities for them to do. Because I am a Muslim educator, right? I'm definitely going to advocate in that space. And so also making sure that in this space tonight, we are cultivating and helping to bring those things to light about like what you can do in your school. Specifically at my school, we make sure that students who are fasting have a space to pray, somewhere to go if they wish not to go to the lunchroom. We have specific materials for them to read. They come to school with their prayer rugs to join us in our community prayer, but also we have some extra rugs for students who, might forget it. And just making it something that is an intentional thought for students. And as we go through Ramadan, we have different competitions where they're learning different verses from the Quran and getting excited about memorization. And then when we get to the Eid, we celebrate the Eid. We also have some iftars for families to come. And, in the age of COVID, it was grab and go. And so prayerfully, we can get back to a space this year.
Explain what iftar is.
Got it. Thank you. So, the iftar happens when we are breaking our fast, and so we will pray and then have our meal together once we break fast. And so, as a community of Muslims in a school, how cool is that I can sit with my students and their families and break bread and say, we all fasted this day together. We're going to eat our dinner or have iftar. We have our dates. We have a meal. We sit and talk. And I remember the last time we were able to do it pre-COVID. They was like, when are y'all leaving the school? Because it was such an exciting time. It was like a Friday evening. And it was like we were really, really having a good time to do it at school. And so, and just having a good time. So in your school, being able to embrace that and make sure families know that like you see them, you are there with them, you are um supporting them in their endeavors of fasting and praying and abstaining from those things. Specifically, we like to highlight the negative, but this is a really positive time. And so why not highlight it, right? Shine a light bright on this time of year where our students and staff are making a sacrifice and really, really excited about this time of year.
Yeah, it is a very, very exciting time. I want to say
Oh,
it
gift
wasn't.
exchange. Talk about your gift exchange because I didn't talk about mine.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I want to say my last school I was at. Well, first let me back up. I've always been sometimes the only Muslim at my school. When I was a teacher, like it was either me and one other teacher. You might have one or two students, but it wasn't until when I was a sped supervisor, my principal actually came to me and said, I know we have some Muslim students. I know we got Muslim staff. Can you put together a Ramadan presentation? Like, cause we would do community meetings every Friday. And I was like, I was like, what you say? I want to make sure I heard what I heard right, because I never had an administrator come to me and ask that. Like really, like a I didn't have a administrator actually like kind of paid attention to. I don't want to say like paid attention, but I'll just say it was intentional. Like, you know what? We got a number of Muslim staff. We got a number of Muslim students. We need to do something. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we did. So we had a Ramadan presentation, and the all of the Muslim staff we put it together. So it was like, well, what is Ramadan? Basically kind of the things that me and Jenee was sharing. But then also, I don't know if you guys remember Word on the Street. The guy would have a microphone and he would ask questions like, so our dean of culture, she went in the hallway. You know how you got to pull certain students
Yes,
through it.
because you don't want
So
it to flop.
right. And it was just like, do you like, they would ask questions like, what question do you have for Muslims about Ramadan?
Mhm.
And they were asking the questions. And then we had the Muslim students who would answer the questions for them. And then I want to say the last year, the staff and students, we did it together. So I got questions from the staff and the students
Mhm.
and the Muslim staff and Muslim students. We answered it, and the video was in the presentation. And then we would
Mm.
share pictures of us from Eid. We shared pictures of we had shared pictures of the iftar. And my friends was like, "Oh, y'all get down for iftar?" I was like, "Yes, we do." And then we have like questions like, "Oh, I got up at this time for sahur, and sahur is when you get up for your morning meal. And I broke my fast at this time. How long did I fast?" You know what I mean? Just to get them,
Mhm.
and thinking about it. But also, we did as a staff, my principal, my dean of culture, and one of the culture associates who isn't Muslim, they fasted with us. Like they were just
Okay.
like, fast was. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like when I tell you, that was so like it was so heartwarming that you wanted to experience this with me. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And we did a gift exchange. Like as a staff, we used Elfster, the app Elfster, so that way it could be secret. You don't
Mhm.
know who you have, but the person can write down, what they want or whatever. And it was like so dope. Like it was so much fun. We were like kids, like, "Oh my God, what did I get?" You know what I mean? Because on Eid, we give gifts, to
Yes.
each other. And the year prior, it was just the teachers. Like we did gifts, and then we actually got gifts for the students. Like they got all the young ladies, they got hijabs. I was like, "Oh, what's your favorite color?" And they were just like, "Okay, this," because I didn't tell them what we were doing. So
Yes.
all the young ladies got hijabs, and the young men, they got T-shirts that said hashtag it was Ramadan, hashtag not even water. Like, like we can't
Yes.
even drink water. Everyone got a travel prayer rug, dhikr beads, a bag of candy, a Ramadan card. My mom got gift cards for everybody,
Oh, and
all the
last year
students.
last year, remember Walmart was it Walmart or no, it was Target. They had Eid Mubarak labels on the gift cards. It was so cool to see.
Right, they were so excited,
Yes.
like, when I tell you the one student, his mom was like, "Oh my gosh," he come to school the next day, got gifts for all of us, for all the teachers. Like, it was just such a great experience to experience that at work, to
Mhm.
actually be able to that same vibe that I feel in my community, I actually had it in
Yes.
my work community, I had it in my
Yes.
school community. So it was very, um it really filled me up because it was just like, how inclusive can we be? Like, you're actually, "Oh my God, you're fasting with me. Oh my God, you want to fast with me? Like, this is great. Oh, you want to do an iftar? You want to go have iftar together?" Like, you know what I mean? Actually taking part in it. Like, it was
And
just an
mhm.
amazing, amazing feeling. I think we have a question. Tanika said, "What specifically can school counselors do to support students during this time of year?" So, Tanika, something that also that we did was we had a separate space for the students who were fasting, and
Mhm.
like Jenee said, like a separate space for students who were fasting, so that way they didn't have to be around people who were eating. Because when you're a
Mhm.
kid, you're still like
It's still yep,
it's still new, like, you're still you still get tempted by, little stuff, so you don't wanna get
trying to
tempted to
figure it out.
drink or eat. We also had a prayer space, for the students, so some students didn't even wanna go downstairs at all, so I let them just use my office, which was fine, but my school actually had it was like a universal prayer room, so it had no images on it, but it was just a clean, clear space. You can go in there and
That's
meditate, you
perfect.
can go in there to pray,
Mhm.
and that's what we did. So you can do those things. Like Janae said, be mindful of just the timing that you have. Maybe if you have to do teacher parent conferences,
Mhm.
having perhaps for those particular students that are Muslim, have their meetings earlier, so that and it's not in the evening. Like,
Yep.
modify the schedule in that way. Because I can remember even when I was fasting, we were doing testing. We had benchmarks, and
Oh, I
we
do
had
remember fasting one
benchmarks.
year.
And I can remember
Mhm.
my AP was looking at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I just got to sit down for a little bit because I'm up and down the steps. I'm making sure, hey, you teachers, do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need to take a break yourself? You know what I mean?" And we don't have high energy, so my energy is
Mhm.
low. So he was just like, you stay here in the hallway, I'll go do it, so that was very helpful as well, acknowledging your staff that is fasting, just to offer a helping hand, or if you know something that's going to exude a lot of energy for that person, you know just to help them out. Let me see. Oh, I thought Tanika had another question. All right.
Mm.
So yeah, so those were some things that Janae and I did at our workplace. Like, that was our workplace. Like, yes, we wanted to do it for the students, but it was like also great for the staff too, who were Muslim. And it's like, you
Mhm.
get to do this with people at work. You have your employer acknowledged you. And every year we did a Ramadan presentation. We would try to do something new, each year, something different. And then we would say, well, how can you support someone who's fasting? So the
Right.
kids would be like, I won't get on Miss Osmond nerves, or I won't bother Miss Bash. You know what I mean? Because they know you're fasting, you don't have any
Bad
energy.
thing. Yeah.
And then some of them said, oh, I can buy her iftar. You know what I mean? Just having that dialogue and talking. Um, yes, those are just like some things that you can definitely do. Oh, she said great information and very specific. Yes. So timing is a big
Yeah.
one for your parents. Anything that's being scheduled, I'm meaning definitely like not in the evening. Try to do it earlier. And something else that you can do, like if you know a student may be fasting and they are getting fasting is not meant to be a hardship. So like if
Worship.
I get
Mhm.
sick or something, I can stop fasting. Like if I'm getting sick, I can stop fasting and I have to make that
Mhm.
day up that I missed. So it's not meant
Right.
to be a hardship. So if a student comes to you and shares that, I always would tell students like go put water in your face, go rinse your mouth out, because sometimes it's just like, they feel dehydrated or something like that. But if they feel like they're really, really getting sick, you can talk to their parent, just to let them know, so they don't think that they just broke their fast or whatever. But it's not meant to be a hardship. So
Right.
if you are sick, you don't fast. If you're on medication, you don't fast. If you're pregnant, if you're nursing, you don't fast. You know what I mean? So it's not meant to be a
And I'm glad
hardship.
you inserted that. I'm glad you inserted that idea of letting them speak to their parents, because even as a teacher in the building who is Muslim, I am still going to speak with the family and tell, even though I'm going to help the student through or go to the bathroom, put some water on your face, go rinse your mouth out. I'm still going to make contact with their family to say, hey, your student is feeling X, Y, and Z, because specific families handle things specific ways. And the
Mhm.
knowledge and the way that parents encourage their students and the level of that is different. And so it's always a family conversation, bringing it back. Never make any decisions on your own. Even I'm Muslim, I'm not going to make a decision for a parent about their child. Just as any other thing happens in the school, as a teacher, you're the expert. If you are not the expert, reach out to the family and say, hey, this is what your student is experiencing, and just check in, right? They're
Mhm.
not going to be offended. They're not going to be upset. They're going to be so appreciative that you reached out, because they want what's best for their child just as you do as well. And also, I think that ties in for students to say, oh, they really see me, right? They notice, oh, I was a little, you know, um, dehydrated, or I'm struggling today, or maybe I was up late and so I'm sleeping, just that encouragement, that it means so much just for students and adults to say, like, you see us. So we talk about it for the students, but the adults as well, right? Just that validation and the acknowledgement of it is very, very important.
Yes, it is. Let me just check IG as well. I'm just trying to make sure we
I
ain't
was
leaving.
looking at IG to make sure we had
Oh,
nothing.
okay. Okay, you got the IG down. You holding that down.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got IG on. I'm good.
Okay. But like, yes, those are some great tips, because even I remember being in the classroom, and one student, I knew he was Muslim, and his teacher sent an email out to all his teachers like, "Oh my God, have you guys seen, we're just going to call him Muhammad. Have you seen Muhammad? He's so lethargic and he told me he hasn't eaten since da 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 da." And I responded, was like, "Oh, Muhammad, he's a Muslim and he's it's Ramadan, so he's fasting. Send him to the
He's
bathroom,
fasting.
send him to put water on his face, and send him to, rinse his mouth out. He'll be fine." And I said, and I just reminded, he wants to fast. That's why he got up. He wants to fast. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
that could have turned into something else. You know what I mean? Because of the lack of understanding
Knowledge
and not
and
knowing. You know
understanding.
what I mean?
Mhm.
So me bringing in that information, like, oh, he's fasting, and so other teachers was like, oh, okay. We understand. And it's like you
Mhm.
are going to have low, your energy is not going to be high when you are fasting. Okay?
Yeah.
So so mentor teacher Lee and I, we've done this in our schools, we've done this in our places of employment, and we're like,
Yeah.
why not share this experience with other organizations, other schools, and other
Yeah.
employers? Other
Yeah.
employers. Like, why not? Why not? So if you want to bring this experience to your school, you want to create a more inclusive environment and supportive environment for those celebrating Ramadan, your staff, your students, we have something for you. Mentor teacher Lee and I created this. We're going to call it, what is it? We're going to call it the roadmap presentation. We
Yes, the
created
roadmap presentation.
for you so that way we can support you in doing that, so you're not doing it blindly, like, oh, where do I start, how do I do this, how do I
Yeah.
do this for my staff, how do I do this for my students? We take the worry out, we'll do it, we'll do
You
it
don't
for
have
you.
to.
You don't have to, so that way you don't accidentally say something you shouldn't say to your staff, and then your staff feel offended, feel like you don't see them. You constantly offering, oh, you want to go to lunch, you want to go to lunch, and it's like, yo, bro, I'm fasting. You won't,
Hello.
you won't fall into those, those traps. And then also just with scheduling and things like that. So allow mentor teacher Lee and I to bring the Ramadan roadmap to your place of employment, to your school, to your organization. Mentor teacher Lee, you want to share a little bit more?
Yes. And so, as we are thinking about how this roadmap can be beneficial for you and your communities, we want to make sure that you can book a call with us. Any questions you have specifically for your school or your organization, we are here to help and support. There is a link. I'm going to drop a link into the Instagram for you as well to make sure that if you are interested in this for your school or your organization, we can help to guide and facilitate this information and bring the experience to you. We can do it in person, we can do it virtually, and really make sure that you are equipped with what you need in this space for your students and or adults in your space. Because we want to make sure that we are creating more inclusive and supportive environments for those who are celebrating during the holy month of Ramadan. So I will drop the link on IG, and I think Jamilah will drop it. Jamilah will drop it on the other
Yeah.
platforms as we are watching.
Yeah, I just dropped it on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You can definitely share this link out with any with your networks. You can definitely share it out. And we decided, to do this because we saw the need, like, and we just
Yeah.
saw how appreciative our students were, how we felt, being seen, being acknowledged, and it really adds to the culture and the morale of it, adds to the culture of your organization and your school, and it adds to that, it just really lifts the morale of your staff, because sometimes, your staff may feel like you know nothing about them, I'm just here to work, you know what I mean? And we
Hmm.
want to definitely remove that. So the link is, oh, we have another comment here. Let
Yes,
me scroll. Let
you got it.
me see. Here's one. Tanika said, as a retired school counselor, I have had some information. However, it was never as in depth as tonight. This will help because teachers will send students to the school counselor when students experience low energy. So thank you again. Oh, I didn't know that. Low
Yes.
energy. I would have sent them to the nurse. Like, you might think, oh, nurse
Right.
or something, but that makes sense. Like, oh, and I can understand that because they're like, well, I don't know. She can find
I don't
out.
know what's going
I don't
on. Yep.
know. And then Miss Evans said, I also just want to add the importance of continuing to educate yourself about religion and holidays. Sometimes
Yes.
it can be exhausting to always have to explain your beliefs. Have some cultural competencies around religions, even if you aren't the one practicing it. And that's another reason why we want to do this Ramadan roadmap, is so that you have the tools. You have it. So that way, hey, Ramadan is coming up, next year. Hey, you already know what to do. You already know, oh, let me make sure I put this on the calendar. Let me make sure I don't schedule something at this time. Let me make sure I'm mindful of when I'm scheduling our outings. Oh, you know what? Let me wait till after Ramadan, after the Eid, to schedule our staff outing or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? Or even certain trips. Like, you can wait till after. Like, hey, this year, let me see. My birthday is during Ramadan this year. Actually, the
Mhm.
last week of Ramadan, it's my birthday. I'm so excited. It's like, like some people be like, "Oh my god, you can't eat," but you have no idea how
It's gonna be
excited
oh
I
my
am.
goodness, yes.
I
Yes,
am so excited. My
yes,
birthday is during Ramadan,
yes,
and it was
yes.
during Ramadan last year too. Like, you have no idea how
It's
excited I
really,
was.
really it's
It's
really
like
it's
double the benefit. Like, I
listen,
can't describe it.
the iftar that day you fast for your birthday, honey, it's like, such a good, like, your family, like, especially during Ramadan, you make time for family, you make time for your loved ones and all those people close to you. Like, if your birthday not during Ramadan, you kind of like,
She
okay.
said Ramadan
It's
birthdays are lit.
yes, Hadia gets it.
They are. Hello, Carell. Hello. And she's
Hello.
laughing. Yes, Ramadan birthdays, like, it's like, oh, you made it to another year. I'm like, oh my gosh. Ramadan
And
is
it's during
such a
Ramadan.
right. And it's like your prayers and everything. It's like, oh, it's such a, and I can't describe it. It's like, I can't describe it. I can't describe it. But what Miss Evans said, that's another reason why we're bringing this Ramadan roadmap to your,
Yeah.
because it shouldn't just be on your staff to tell you, to teach you about other
Mhm.
religions. Like, you should have, like Miss Evans said, have some competencies of different religions, so and you can just move accordingly with your staff, with your students,
Yes.
and you have no idea how they will appreciate that, the fact that, oh, I don't always have to remind you about this, because I can tell you right now, I get so sick and tired. You coming to me like, you offering me food. Oh my god, I forgot. And it's like, yeah, come on, you know how long I've been working here,
Listen,
and you
you have
know,
to
you
know.
know I
You have
fast.
to know.
You have to know. So before we head out, guys, does anyone have questions? And don't be shy with your questions. Don't be
We're
shy.
all about inclusivity and making sure that we are engaging and helping others. So, all questions are good questions.
Yes, all questions are good questions. And remember, definitely share this live out. And you can share the link. Let's drop the link again.
Yep, I'm doing it now.
We're gonna drop the booking link again.
Yep.
So if you we would appreciate that you share this out. So I just shared the booking link out
And you can tell
again.
them how we are both educators and really, really excited um,
Oh, alhamdulillah, great
about
job, ladies.
Alhamdulillah, Mukhtar.
But yes, I reached out to, because Jenee and I, we did a live together last year.
Uh-huh.
We had fun on that live. That live was fun. We had fun on that. We had fun on that live. But we were like, why not? You know,
Get ahead of it and make sure
yeah.
we're educating our people and making people feel more comfortable about asking those questions that you might have and, really, like, becoming more knowledgeable of it when we think about specifically how other religions right now, right? Ash Wednesday came for Christians and Lent is there and there is fasting that's happening, right? And so how do we make sure that everyone is seen and felt and really embraced during this time? Um,
I was just
Miss Evans,
highlighting.
Miss Evans is on the roll. Miss Evans, thank you so much.
Yeah, that was a great one, Miss Evans. That was
Mhm.
really good. Definitely, because that's just like, it's not our job to continue to educate you. You're absolutely right about that. You do need to have, be competent of other religions, that do exist.
Right.
So
So we
let's
looking on
see.
Instagram, and that's one of my former students who is now working at a college. She teaches at the collegiate level. So I guess I can't be 21 if one of my former students is teaching. But she's talking specifically, is this just for grade school? No, Sadia, is not for grade school. We can definitely incorporate these things, and we can hop on a call with you about how to support your students on a collegiate level and in graduate school as well, specifically for those night classes. I know when we talk about graduate level and how,
Girl.
you in class, right? And so how we could definitely support you in that, Sadia. So there's a Calendly link. You also have my personal information to set up a call with us to make sure that you have the best information moving forward. But thank you for asking. See, I knew that wait time was important as
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
asking your questions, because you want to make sure that you're typing.
Ooh, this is a great question, Hadia. How can teachers and staff assist young girls who are on their menses? They are Muslims, so people expect they are fasting but don't understand all the nuances. So here is another, and Tanika, I see your question. So here is another thing. So when you are, I don't know why I forgot this. As a woman, when you are, if you're pregnant, you don't fast. If you're nursing, you don't fast. And when your period is on, you do not fast. So a way that as a teacher, a way you can support your students who, hey, their period is on, they may still not want to go to the lunchroom. They may want to just, they still want to continue, like they still want to continue to be in that state of, okay, let me still proceed as if I am fasting, because it's still Ramadan, even though they may be able to eat. Now they may have a snack with them or water, so they may not want to be in the lunchroom either. They may not even want to be in the lunchroom because they don't want people to
Mhm.
see them eating, because they don't understand that,
The preconceived
hey, my
notion of,
period is
right.
on, but then they also don't want you to know my period is on too. So
Mhm.
you can also have spaces for them as well. So there are times I had students that did that too. They would come to my office and I would say, you're not bothering me if you need to drink water or if you have
Right.
something to snack on, you're not bothering me. And I just always assured them they weren't bothering me. They wouldn't be affecting me, because I know for me, when that time comes, I always take, like, I'm not having a full lunch, but I would bring water with me and probably some fruit, because I also still want to keep myself in the mindset that, okay, I'm fasting, but at the same time, I'm not trying to pass out, because my period is on. Thank you, Hadia, for that question. So those are also some things, at the school level that you can do. Tanika said, before closing out, what are the specific days during this time you mentioned earlier to close out? So specific days. So Ramadan, um, inshallah, is slated to start March I want to say it could start the 9th, 10th, or the 11th of March. I think it's one of those 3 days. And then it's 29 to 30 days that we're fasting. So from March 9th, 10th, or the 11th,
To
they're
April
gonna, to April. So it'll be till April 9th, 10th, or 11th.
10th
But
or
again,
11th.
we
Mhm.
have to go by the sighting of the moon. So it's for a complete month. So those are the dates, Tanika, that is looked
Mhm.
at Ramadan should be starting. And you'll see, like, you'll know Ramadan starting because any Muslims in your network, we always post it like, oh my God, Ramadan Mubarak. We are so excited that Ramadan has started. So, we share it on our social media. We share it all over the
Mhm.
place. And yes, like that's what we do. We're so excited of this time. Again, one of the biggest blessings that you can do is feed a fasting person.
Yes.
So, hey, you
Yeah.
may know someone's fasting. You may treat them to iftar, and that's when you break the fast. There have been times where someone said, "Oh, can I help you out? I want to say thank you." I said, "Well, we can go at this time because that's when I can break fast." So
Mhm.
treating someone to iftar. I remember some friends and I, we did a sahur meetup. We met up at a 24-hour diner, and we had our morning meal and we were right near a masjid. So when it was time to pray, we went across the street to the masjid to pray. So, like, it's just, Ramadan is such a amazing time. Um and again, like, we just went over so many things that you can do at your place of employment, at your school.
Yes.
Like, there's so many things that you can do. And as the employer, there are so many things that you can do to educate yourself. So that way you could
Make
just be
sure that you're,
cognizant. Right. So that you're cognizant of how to support your staff and even your customers that may come, people who
yes.
patronize your business. Hey, do you know how you make them feel even special? The fact that you know about their holiday? And
Mhm.
you might even made something extra and like just did something special in your business because it's Ramadan.
To support
One of
them,
my
that's right.
right, and one of my friends, Sharima, she has the Umma shop, and you have no idea. That has always been a dream of hers to have like a one-stop shop. Like you can go
Yeah,
there, you can get decorations from Ramadan because you
everything.
can you want to people decorate their houses from Ramadan and Eid. Um, you can get garments there. You can get Ramadan cards. You can get hijabs. It's so much that you can
So
get
so much
there.
stuff.
Prayer rugs. Quran.
Those cool
All that.
graphic t-shirts that you were talking about, Ramadan move on, like all of those, the Umma shop has everything.
And it's
Um,
located in King of Prussia
Bigger
Mall.
Pressure Mall. That's
Yes, that's where
right.
it's located. And I actually did when we did our Ramadan presentation, I went to her store and she we did a little quick little video because I wanted the students to see, like, do you know there's actually some places you can go? It's
Yeah,
like, hey, it's one stop shop. You can get decorations, you can get hijabs, you can get thobes, you can get garments,
yeah.
you can get your incense, your oud, and all that stuff at one place. In one place.
Uh,
You know what I mean? So it's just
that's
exciting.
exciting.
And then the iftars. The iftars are I know with COVID, I so enjoyed the grab and goes. It's like I don't even want to do a regular iftar no more where you're sitting down, get your food and move on.
Oh, I miss it now. So I look forward to it, especially because we're in school. So I think that last week of Ramadan, or maybe the third week of Ramadan this year, will be on spring break. So that'll be the week that I'll be like at the masjid a little later and like really hanging out. I really enjoy that time. So when we had COVID and we did the grab and go, it was like, but it's like so much fun to like see your people and really embrace that, those who you haven't been around all year long. Like I said, it's so exciting. We really, really want this time. Like it's not. Really want to make sure you bring that idea of like empathy versus sympathy. Like we are excited to embrace the month of Ramadan. We have prayed and really wanted to get to this time.
Right. And also just a rejuvenation for our own souls. Like
Yeah,
we're excited because it's like, hey, I fast this month, my sins are forgiven. I fast this month of Ramadan, my sins are erased. Like I wanna make it to Ramadan, you know what I mean? And understand your students are excited too.
yes, they are.
They're excited too. And then also, we do extra prayers during Ramadan as well. So there's a nightly prayer called Taraweeh where it's late at night. So I tend to do that once it's during the school year. I would just do it on Fridays and Saturdays because
Right.
it's a lot trying to do it during the week and you gotta get up in the morning to go to work. But
Especially
just
if it's a testing window, honey. That's why.
right. So then understand, hey, another reason your students could be lethargic or tired, they might have been praying the previous night. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Praying for their
yes.
families. They could be praying for you. So again, definitely reach out to us so that way we can bring this experience to your school, to your organization, to your place of employment. Employers, definitely book a call with us. We're going to drop it in the comments one more time.
One more
Let's
time.
do
I just
one
dropped it
more
one more
time for
time.
anybody
Yeah.
coming in late. Definitely book a call with us so that way we can support you um, in bringing this to your school, bringing this to your place of employment. It is dropped on LinkedIn. It's there on LinkedIn. Okay.
It's here on
Oh,
IG as well.
good, good, good. So before we leave, again, I am Jamilah, aka the IEP Coach. You can follow me on all of the platforms are at the IEP Coach LLC. I am going to drop my link here so that way you can connect with me as well.
I'll drop
Um,
it on Instagram for you.
Okay, that is my link. This connects you to my website, our website, all of the social media platforms that we're on. It's consistent. The IEP Coach LLC, that is our tag. Follow us, engage with our content. And if your school is in need of special education center support, professional development, coaching, definitely reach out to us. You need parent workshops to educate your parents about special education, the IEP and 504 processes. Definitely reach out to us at the IEP Coach.
Right. And so likewise, I am Jenee Lee of the Mentor Teacher League. Mentor Teacher Lee is my handle on IG, and you can follow me there. You can book a call with me regarding any coaching or mentorship. If you are a teacher in years 1 to 5, if you know someone who is a teacher in year 1 to 5 who is looking for a coach and or mentor to make sure that they come from novice to master in the classroom. I am there. The Mentor Teacher League is there to support them. And so on Instagram, I have also dropped my handle to make sure that you can get in contact with me to schedule a call and just become a part of the Mentor Teacher League if that is something that you are interested in. We are still accepting applications. We are in the third quarter of the year for some of us and looking at the end of the year. How do you prepare yourself for ending out the year strong after those mid-year evaluations, as well as how do you gear up to become that expert going into the next school year? The Mentor Teacher League is here to assist you with that. Tonight was a great evening talking about inclusivity and making sure that we are creating spaces for all during Ramadan. And so we hope that this landed in your hearts. And if you have questions, you are comfortable enough to ask them here while we were here, as well as to reach out to us. Remember, you can book a call with the link that is provided on all of the platforms here. If you are interested in bringing this to your organization and or school, we are here to service you. We can make that happen. Roadmap to Ramadan.
Yes, definitely reach out to us so we can. Oh, one more thing I'm gonna tell you this. Listen, we want you guys to really, really, take advantage of this. So listen, the first ten places of employment or schools that book with us, we're gonna make a resource kit for you guys for your staff, for your students. So the first 10 to book a call, you will get that. Okay? And we only got 10 spots. So
One of them,
definitely
only 10.
make sure you hop on this
Yep.
right away because the calendar will fill up so fast. Okay? So definitely
So
take
share this live
advantage.
out. Share
Share
this
it
live
out.
out to your friends. If you are the decision maker, jump on it because once those 10 slots are going, that's it.
They're going. You gotta wait till next Ramadan that we do this again. So I totally enjoyed this. Again, you got any questions? You can comment. We'll see the comments on the video. You can contact us on each of our pages. Our link is there, and also the booking link to book a call with us is there. As always,
Yes.
please be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace and be safe, everyone. Have an amazing evening.